Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and like always, thank you so much for your support. So this video is a really exciting one. This is episode number 3 in our Zero to Hero fighter guide. We start this episode with about 90 gold, but pretty good gear. This gear set actually was lost. We ended up experiencing a power outage, but because of the rollback, we got all of that gear back, so we definitely got really lucky. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's jump right into it and see you at the end for the gear review. Alright, game 1 is probably one of the slower games in the 10 game series. It's actually not a lot of PvP at all, mainly just some PvE, and yeah, straightforward game. So we spawn in the bottom right hand of the map, and my main objective is to try to just rush towards the centipede and see if we can take that out, get a couple of rings or amulets under our belt that maybe we can sell for some gold. So kill the spiders there, kill the zombie that always spawns here, and we make our way towards the centipede. So for this centipede, I wanted to try out a new strategy where you can just avoid the venom spray by looking down. Unfortunately, you have to be within range or like a pretty close proximity to the centipede for the venom to not hit you. So I was trying to figure out what that range was in this video. That's why you see I take a little bit of damage from the centipede here, which is normally not okay. But we do end up getting some pretty good rings off of the centipede that we end up selling later. Alright, so here I do see somebody getting the speed shrine, so I try to heal up. I hear the footsteps around the corner, so open with crossbow in hand and see if we can get some damage done. Unfortunately, we do miss, so I just push where he was at, but he jumps down, decide to loot this, and then I hear some footsteps behind me here in a second. So again, at this point I think he still has speed shrine, so I'm a little bit hesitant to jump down. So I hear him coming into the water. I see that there is a portal here. So my objective is to jump down and fight, and kind of mistime the landing. I do regret it instantly when I see that he has some gear that could have been mine, but first game's under wraps. We do make about like 40 gold, 40 something gold off of this one, so let's jump into the next game. Alright, so game 2 was honestly just another slow game. We do find a pickaxe, and immediately I remember that we do have some ruby silver stashed away, so it kind of quickly became the priority for this game, just to farm up some ruby silver, so you can get a ruby silver fine cuirass somewhere down the line and include it in one of the videos. But yeah, we'll just kind of fast forward through some of this game, show a little bit of the highlights, and a lot of mining. Unfortunately, we do take a little hit there, but totally okay. We have plenty of HP at this point. I always try to make my way into this room because there's quite a bit of chests, some pots, and some loot they can just pick up. So decide to clear this room and then move on. pretty straightforward game for game number 2. Mined some ore, finish up 2 ruby silver bars, and end up making about 70 gold, putting us up to about 200 gold. So from here on out, the games do pick up quite a bit, so let's jump into the next one. So we kill the bat here, and I immediately hear a cleric buffing up. I don't know in the beginning if he's geared or not, and then I realize he's really not, so I decide to try to push him. He gets scared and runs away, but I'm a little bit more hesitant to run into that because there's like 4 different mobs there aggroed. I really don't want to deal with that, so try to play the range game. He decides to try to push up into me, and funny enough, he tries to crouch, but then tries to Mika me. So at this point he's super low, and he actually does end up just running away, and does end up getting away unfortunately. But we jump right into the next one. Alright, so at this point we clear the entire room. The cleric is long gone, don't see him anymore, so I'm ready to transition into the next room here, get a little bit more into the circle, and immediately I see somebody up here. See him below me, and I know he has to be low because he also ate a trap. So he makes a big mistake and corners himself. Unfortunately, we are getting pushed by a goblin behind us, and I do end up getting a hit, but he gets stuck on the terrain, and one shot cleans him up. And to the victor go the spoils, and this rogue is absolutely juiced with some pretty nice gear. So we do quickly pick everything up, and immediately I am thinking, alright, time to get out because I have no more space for any of this. So let's quickly heal up, get a campfire down so we can reclaim our second wind, and try to make it out of the dungeon. And we find our old nemesis again. So the same cleric that ran away is back, and he is not having any of it and decides to exit the dungeon. At this point we end up clearing 2 modules over, find our blue portal, and we make it out of here with all the loot from that super juiced rogue that does end up fetching us quite a bit of money later on. Alright, so straight into game number 4, left this clip in just to kind of show the kind of damage we're doing. It's pretty insane. So we end up clearing our first room, which is our spawn right behind us, and I see that there is a ranger here. He aggroes a couple of mobs. Unfortunately, he does open that portal really quickly, so really has nothing to lose, just trying to do some damage to me when he gets out. And unfortunately I do get hit with a goblin right behind me, and I realize I have to close the distance here, so I pop my second wind, pressure him a little bit, and he does end up just getting out. I do hear footsteps above me, so I decide to loot up really quick and then try to push above and see what we find. So one quick headshot puts him down. A couple of yoinks and a pretty decent helmet that we do end up taking here, but not much more gear outside of that. So we do end up clearing the rest of the PvE down here, looting all the chests down here. Honestly didn't find anything that out of this world, just some random blues that we end up picking up. Alright, so we decide to clear the PvE here, see if we can wait for the secret extract, and we get into some action as I hear somebody behind me. Tries to be friendly, but we're having none of that. Alright, I just heard the secret extract, and I know he's in the gas, so he has to come this way. So I'm trying to position myself in between him and the extract, and then apply some pressure. And two swings takes care of him. I do kind of feel a little bit bad here because I don't even have space to pick up most of the gear. And with that, that is our second kill for this game. And it is time to exit. So we end up making about 130 something gold off of just the collectibles. We also got some items that we end up selling later on for a couple hundred gold, if I'm not mistaken. And let's jump into the next one. So we end up clearing some goblins and immediately hear footsteps through the store. And as soon as I open, I know that the footsteps are closed, but I don't see anybody. I don't see them in the room up top. I don't see them to the right. Don't see them underneath. So I'm kind of puzzled as to where they are. And I gotta give it to this guy. He had a pretty damn good hiding spot. Just didn't have the gear to outmaneuver or outplay. So we end up killing this goblin, and he gives away his position. So we see him down there. I can barely see anything, so I just shoot blindly, and it does end up hitting him. So now my game plan is to try to jump down, close the distance. It has to be either a fighter or some type of ranger. And I missed that shot. Pull out the lantern, we see him, and he is in a very difficult position. Fortunately, it was just a... This bat just would not die. Fortunately, it was just a naked ranger with a crossbow, so pick up a couple yoinks, and then we are done with that. Decide to go back into the mine, and I do hear something either above us or behind the next entrance. But I want to try to make my way towards the big chest in the middle now that I have a lockpick, and see if we can pick up some good gear. So we do hear quite a big fight going on there between a cleric and somebody else, and I decide to try to open this and see if I can make it across. Failed jump 2 times, but finally get it on the third one. As soon as I open this door though, I decide to just look and decide to push around and then cut off the escape, since I know that I can just always come back to this area. So decide to go up. Alright, so at this point I know there's someone to our left, down where we came from. I see a dead cleric down here. I also see another dead fighter up here. So at this point I'm looking for the rogue. So trying to clear out all the PvE here so I have a little bit more room to work with. And let's see how this plays out. Those one-shot crossbows are so satisfying. So this guy has a bunch of loot on him. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of space. End up dropping the boots there, see anything else that I can fit. But yeah, we're pretty full on loot at this point. Alright, so that is game 5. We end up making about 180 gold off of this one. And we're starting to get a little bit of gold under our belt to maybe upgrade a little bit of the gear. So what I think I'm going to do is we're going to split this video into 2 different series, because if not, it's going to be like a 40-minute video. So for the next video, it's going to be episodes or games 5 through 10, and I'll be releasing that in a day or so, along with the gear review at the end of it. So stay tuned for that, guys. If you want to see more, like I said, just subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps. See you then.